Okay, in the introductory part of the lesson, I told you that we are going to make a still life drawing of a vessel. And in that vessel, we're going to have some brushes and 2 little fruits by the side. So the first thing you do is to get a balance of the vessel. You draw a line, a horizontal line, and a vertical line that runs across, so that both sides of the vessel will be equal. A horizontal line and a vertical line. What you have on this side of the vessel is exactly what you're going to have on this side of the vessel. So that's the vessel. Quickly, that's the vessel, and the opening of the vessel, the upper part of the vessel, the sides of the vessel runs down. I'll clean off this little extension, and the base of the vessel. So the handle of the vessel, draw the handle, goes there and comes in this way. That's the handle of the vessel. You can now remove these central lines, erase it neatly. Finish with the lines, both the center line and the vertical line, the horizontal line and the vertical lines. So our little fruits can be there. It could be apple. If you choose to use apple, then the stalk and the little leaf there. We can make it 2 little apples, a bigger one and a smaller one. Could be an apple or an orange, either. It must not necessarily be an apple. Good. Then let's have a brush that pulls out from the vessel. Could be a paintbrush, beautiful paintbrush. Can use freehand, can use a ruler. Okay. So in every still life, you try to make it a 3-dimensional effect. And to create a 3-dimensional effect is to give it a shading effect. We have different types of shade. We have the smooth shading, we have the rough shading. Those are the 2 main types of shading. We have the harsh shading, we have the cross shading. But in this case, we're going to use the smooth shading. We're going to show the direction of the light, where the light is coming from, and we're going to show the direction where the shade is coming from as well. So in this drawing, let's assume the light is coming from this way, moving towards that direction. So everything along this path will show the effect of light. Then as it moves to the other side, it shows the effect of shade. Now to create the effect of shade is very simple. The first thing you do is to get a pencil and press hard on it. Press very hard. So what I'm doing, press very hard to create the effect of shade. Press hard. Because here shows that we don't have much of the light here. That's why it's looking darker. Don't have much of the light over there. Okay. Press hard to create, trying to create a 3D effect. If there is no light and shade, guess what will happen to your work? It will look very, very flat. And any work that looks flat shows that it is not a 3D. It's not a 3D. Try to smoothen off all the extensions right on the edge. Now there's something you must notice here. You cannot see any pencil stroke. I don't have pencil strokes here. Then secondly, as you move towards the areas of light, you reduce the pressure of the pencil on the paper. That's exactly what I'm doing now. I have reduced the force. If you don't reduce the force, everything will look dark and the 3D effect will be completely lost. That's it. So I have reduced the force and I'm just rubbing lightly on the vessel. Rubbing it lightly, very, very lightly. So you can see the 3D effect because of the interplay between the light and shade. This is light, this is shade. Once again, you'll find it hard to see any pencil stroke or lines, like I earlier said. There could be some lines, but not as pronounced that will make your work look bad. Now, the inner part of the vessel, making it dark because the presence of light is not there, so it has to be dark. Then as we move towards the edge of the opening, you can leave a thin white line there, all in an attempt to give it a 3D effect. Good, that's it. Then for your brush, the direction of the light as you have on the vessel will also reflect on your brush. Here is shaded. As I move towards the other side, it becomes light. This is our brush. Then the hair of the brush, you can decide to use lines, but as you move towards the direction of light, you reduce the force. That's it. Okay. All right. Our work is coming out beautifully. Then for the handle, can decide to apply the pencil very lightly. But then the 3D effect must be reflected. Okay, there's an overlap here. The shade. There's the shade getting lighter as we move away from the shade. Lighter as we move away from the shade. Can make it lighter by reducing the force of the pencil. That's the handle. Then for our fruits, we also maintain the direction of the light. And remember, there's a contact between the vessel and the fruit, so which means there should be a little shadow here. The vessel is casting a little shadow on this part of the fruit. See it? Now, what I'm doing is I'm reducing the force of the pencil as I move away from the shade. As I move away from the shade. Completely reduced. You will hardly see the pencil mark. Hardly see it. Very good. There's a contact, which means one is casting shadow. There's a shadow there on the other one. Okay. As our fruit, smoothing out the edge. Let's give it more contrast. All right. See the area of light. Okay. Now, the second fruit, which is the last one, because of the contact, it's assumed that there is shade here. Here will be a little bit darker. Darker. As I move towards the direction of light, what happens? I reduce the force of the pencil on the paper, just as you can see. All right, good. Then for the leaf, I decide to have it entirely dark. I'll still create a little bit of light there, with the midrib in between. The line that runs from the base of the leaf to the tip of the leaf is called the midrib. Good. Then the ground or the table level, the base, because the light is coming from this direction, which means the shadow will be this way. I have the shadow running that way. Also have the shadow, then a lighter shadow there. So this is our still life drawing. There's a still life drawing, and I strongly believe that you're going to come up with something better. You can decide to arrange some objects at home and look at it, study it carefully. We call it observation. Observe it carefully. What are you observing? You're observing the balance, the direction where the light is coming from, how the light is distributed on the object. You are equally observing the proportion. We'll talk about proportion, we'll talk about the size, the height, the length, comparing proportions of two different objects that are placed together. Those are the things you observe. And we must know that before you make any drawing, the first thing you do is to observe these things very, very well. So that's it. This is still life drawing. Thank you so much, and good luck. Bye.